Hello, welcome to episode 3 of Hearts of Wulin in April, and this is a part of right. This is a part of like the Gauntlet play community, and this is like an online community where people meet to play games together online through hangouts like these. If you're interested, you should just Google Gauntlet games because I don't have the link. Yeah, and there's like so many games, especially right now. So if you're interested in playing all kinds of RPGs, you should seriously do it. People are great players, like you can tell. Everyone is good. So last time, on I should have come up with like a show name. That's my question for y'all. What's a good show name? Oh, gauntlet-rpg.com. That's the website. Thanks, Kurt. So last time on this thus far unnamed show, there was a dramatic fight that happened within the busiest part of town that resulted in a lot of inner conflict getting rolled because a lot of people saw each other, saw people that they haven't seen in a while, embracing other people other than themselves. So there was a lot of like people feeling overwhelmed emotionally, perhaps running away or trying to strike conversations in tea houses and then accidentally friend zoning themselves, as was the case with May to Rochelle, who. There was a fight, and Perfected Starfall grew suspicious of Graven Hunter. Graven Hunter is not here, which for this session, which is even more suspicious, right? Right. And so instead today we just have the three of us. Also last time, Jungmin Baoyun got rejected by, I always forget her name, Desert Star, who has implied that she's in love with Perfected Starfall. So, and Perfected Starfall is in love with Gentleman Baoyun, yes, but then knows that Gentleman Baoyun has accused Major Rochelle of a crime. Right. Okay, great. So things happen. Oh man, that was a terrible summary. Next time I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna ask y'all to do it instead. Let's do entanglements. So let's look at the entanglements that each of you have and see if they still apply. If they don't, we will change them. Let's see. So let's start with you, Gentleman Baoyin.
Sure. So romantic, I rejected Perfected Starfall, but Desert Star, who I desire, loves them. I think that's still there. Because it doesn't say anything about whether Desert Starfall, how they felt about me in this. So technically, other than them rejecting me, nothing's changed there.
Oof.
Yeah. So, and then the other one, General, I have hidden my true identity from Desert Star because of my entanglement or my engagement with many-tempered Xiaohu. I think that one stands as well because I didn't really come out to Desert Star as that I'm under an assumed identity. So
yes, but last time you seemed under the impression that your identity is going to be revealed very soon. Is there a reason why?
I had made some noise in the street, right? Like one of the things was I let some information slip during the fight in order to get a better roll. And so I had said, I don't know, I forget what it was, but I had said like the martial catchphrase of the Frosthearth Palace, yeah. In the fight, and people on the street would have heard it. So I assume that that's falling apart soon. And so I was pressed for time and made a move on Desert Star earlier than I would have wanted to.
Okay, great. And which one of these would you like to highlight for this session?
Oh, let's go with the romantic one, because we're going to probably pick up with perfected starfall and myself. So I think that's going to get a lot of play this time.
That's true. Okay, many times for Xiaohu.
Let's see. I've got my general one is that a local authority, Harmonious Owl, hints that they know of my shady dealings against my mentor, Perfected Starfall, and their family. I don't know if we've gone into that, and I had that highlighted from last time, so that may that could come into play still, I think.
Okay.
And the engagement to Gentleman Bao Yin, with him actually being in love with the sibling Dancer of Loss, I like that one. I think that's still floating out there. That may change once Gentleman Bao Yin reveals themselves, but I think that one still works right now.
Okay, and which one do you want? So you want to still keep the highlight on the Harmonious Owl knowing of your shady dealings?
Yes, I think that's a good one to kind of sneak in, and it keeps me involved with the Perfected Starfall angle.
Right. And Harmonious Owl is not a part of the Meteor Grace clan, is she? Or maybe she is. I don't know.
I know that she was a local magistrate. I don't know if we had established that or not. I think it would be really interesting if if she was, but I think Perfected Starfall could have a voice in that as well if she thinks it would be a more interesting angle if a Harmonious Owl would be from outside the clan, so there'd be some reason for her not to listen. That might be actually better. Maybe have her be from outside the Meteor Grace clan.
Yeah.
That would mean that Perfected Starfall might be reluctant to listen to them speak ill of her fellow member of the Meteor Grace clan. So,
yeah, I think it could work either way, but that makes sense. I like the kind of clan loyalty angle there.
Okay. I think I would like her to be from one of the factions. So, because Eduardo's not here, so I can't ask about the Many Venoms sect. So, the other option is the Frost Earth Palace. Supposedly destroyed, but it'd be nice to have everyone kind of be.
that would actually be really good, especially if it eventually comes out that the Meteor Grace clan had some role in the destruction of Frost Hearth Palace.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And I think... Great. Yeah, I don't think she's made it a secret, probably, that she is a part of the Frost Hearth Palace. So let's have that be the general... Like, anyone who feels like they should be able to know could know that that's where she's from.
And that was Harmonious Owl?
Yes, Harmonious Owl. And now, Perfected Starfall, your entanglements?
Yes, so my romantic one is I love Gentleman Bao Yin, but my clan member, Many-Tempered Xiaohu, has been accused of a crime by them. And we know what that crime is. Gentleman Bao Yin stole their clan symbol and claimed that Xiaohu lost it or was the one who stole it or something like that.
Do you think that's still relevant, or I feel like no, there has been no fallout from that.
Yeah, unless we were going to tie that back into the Harmonious Owl thing, but I think that Many-Tempered Xiaohu has something more devious than just that going on with his entanglement there. The only part of it that I think is still active is the fact that I love Gentleman Bao Yin.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think we should probably shift that one then to...
Okay. Maybe I could find another one that's that makes sense and replace it. Or
Okay.
what do you think is the best way to shift these?
Yeah, or we could try to like edit this one to see if there's any angle that has been narratively interesting that we can just kind of stick in there. So you love Gentleman Bao Yin, and
I mean, we could just go with the love triangle thing and say I love him, but he loves Desert Star or something like that, just to kind of get that down.
We could also change it to you love him, but he is engaged to Manitoba Xiaohu. That doesn't mean that you know that right now, but we can have that be a potential thing.
I like that a lot.
You are an eidolon of innocence.
A personification of innocence. All of these accusations are completely baseless and unproven.
Right.
I still believe you completely, so we're good.
Jeez.
And then my general entanglement is that my friend Sour Sadness Bear suspects Graven Hunter of evil, but I remain steadfastly loyal for the time being.
Mm-hmm.
So until there's some hard evidence, even though I trust and love Sour Sadness Bear, I cannot change my opinion of Graven Hunter.
Okay. Yeah, I think that one still applies. Yeah.
Okay. Sweet.
Graven Hunter is just very non-subtle, which is why he seems more suspicious. Okay.
And I'm gonna highlight the romantic one since I expect to go visit Gentleman Bao Yin soon.
Yeah, it makes sense. And the Graven Hunter's not here, so less to go on. All right, so let's have this conversation. So Perfector Starfall, I believe you would be the one seeking out Gentleman Bao Yin, right? That seems like it would make sense.
Yeah, I think I go straight from the conversation with Sour Sadness Bear. It was kind of implied that maybe she would be coming with me as like a
Yeah, she's your wing woman, wing person.
Exactly. So yeah, we're gonna go find Gentleman Bao Yin and see how this goes.
Yeah, and Sour Sadness Bear. So you're okay. Do you go to like the inn where Gentleman Bao Yin is staying, or Gentleman Bao Yin? Where do you think you are found?
Okay, so I have to say, is this the next day, or is it that same night?
Maybe it should be. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was trying to think of that too. I would imagine that I'm not sure. I kind of like the idea of walking in as Desert Star walks out, but but I'm not sure if that makes the most sense or not.
I'm sure, like, I'm fine with you asking around and someone having seen us leave and like pointing you in the right direction, and then you just happen upon this spot.
Yeah,
this romantic spot.
So actually, let's say that you, in your search for Gentleman Bao Yin, you're at the inn and you see Desert Star, and she's like, she looks a little ruffled. Like her, I mean, she always seems to be kind of like scatterbrained, but especially right now, she's just like, her hair is like all in disarray, and she's like, oh, hi, Professor Starfall. It's so nice to see you.
You as well. I believe your name is Desert Star, right?
Yes, it is. And she's like, she remembered me.
Can I study to try to figure out why she's looking ruffled?
Yeah,
or do you think it's obvious? Okay.
You don't even know. You don't even know if you know her name. I don't think it would be obvious to you.
You're right.
What are you rolling with?
I'm gonna roll with water, I guess, for awareness.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It's doing something weird. 1 second. Yeah, it's not working for me. Would someone mind rolling for me on that?
Okay. Yeah.
Should
Okay,
we?
I just re-rolled. Oh, wait, did you roll as well?
No, I didn't.
Okay, I just rolled for you, and it is a 7.
+2. Okay, so 9.
9, you get to ask one question or declare one detail. Also learn her scale, I guess. I don't know.
Sure, I'd love to know her scale. That sounds like
Wait,
good info.
are you serious?
Oh, that's one of the options. No, I don't need that. Okay. I thought it was just like default.
No, nothing's for free.
Yes. Yeah, I think it makes the most sense for me to ask just why is she looking a bit disheveled and out of sorts?
Okay, so she I mean, do you ask or like do you say anything or are you just like looking at her? Because the kind of information I'm gonna give you would be pretty different depending.
Yeah, I think I do kind of maybe pull it to the side a little bit away from Sour Sadness Bear, since I don't believe Sour Sadness Bear is part of the Meteor Grace clan.
She's not. No.
Yeah, so I think I kind of nod at Sour Sadness Bear. Give me one moment, please, and pull Desert
Wait.
Star aside and say, "Are you doing all right?"
Oh, I'm so. And it's like, oh gosh, I look like a mess. And she's like, oh, oh no, I'm fine. I um, just had a conversation, that I didn't know how to handle. But everything is fine now. I think.
Okay, yeah, I won't pry any further. I just want you to know that every member of the gentleman or the Meteor Grace clan is very important to me. And if you ever need any assistance or would like to discuss something, um, my door is always open.
Oh, all right. Thank you.
Of course. Hope you have a nice day.
Yes. Were you looking for something? I never see you here.
Yes, I came looking for an old friend who I heard was in town.
I might
Yes.
know. I'm also staying here right now.
Oh, wonderful. I'm looking for someone named Gentleman Bao Yin.
Uh, I. It, is this an emergency?
Um, I have to admit it's important, but I don't think emergency is quite the right word. Um, I just didn't know they were in town, and um, I, I haven't seen them in a while, so I think it would be good for us to catch up.
Uh, oh, okay. And she clearly looks like she knows where he is, but she's also kind of like hesitating about telling you.
So, do you know Gentleman Bao Yin? You look like you're familiar.
We are both. Uh, I have met him. Yes.
Oh, okay. So, have you seen him around? Can you point me in his direction?
Um, yeah, 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 I can. Yeah, he's you know those the hills at the foot of the mountain, right by the town. Can probably find him there.
Oh, okay. So he's not in the inn at the moment.
Nope.
Oh, I heard otherwise, but okay.
Please don't tell him that I told you this. Please.
Sure. I wouldn't think of it.
Thank you. Well, I'll be off.
Oh, okay. Take care.
And Sour Santa's bear, who's been like leaning against a pillar all this time, is like she like kind of like stands up and it's like it's a weird girl.
She's always been a little excitable, so this is not unusual behavior for her.
Clown is so weird.
You always say that, but every time I've offered to let you join, you just shun me. So I
Yeah, I
guess
know because it's so weird.
you're
go.
weird.
I don't want to hear that from you. Let's go.
So I guess we turn around and go to the bottom of the mountain, where we were directed.
Gentleman Volume, what state do does Perfectus Starfall and Sour Santa's bear find you in?
Well, he had 2 people's worth of wine, and he has had that. And he is, I think he is currently monologuing at the mountain. So he's probably not super aware of his surroundings because he's drunk all this wine, and so he's laying on the blanket that he had prepared there, sort of shaking his wine gourd, and yelling at the mountain like, "I've been searching everywhere, just to prove that you are innocent, and it's not you could have just told me if it was you, and then I would know, and I wouldn't. If you had just ever talked to me ever, maybe I wouldn't have to scale this mountain and challenge this serpent." And so he's like he's going on a ranting as
Yeah, and Perfectus Starfall.
I think as we approach, I kind of look at Sour Sadness Bear strangely. I see this off in the distance, and obviously can hear the shouting. Do you think I should go alone? This is a lot. I don't want to scare him.
Yeah, let's not scare him. Go. I'll be here.
Nearby though, right?
Yeah, shove for me if you need help.
Okay. I'm gonna go that way now. I think I will get probably closer than you would normally get before letting someone know that you're coming up behind them, and assuming he doesn't notice me, I'll kind of stammer out to, "Gentlemen, Bao Yin. It's just funny to see you here."
"Oh, did you come back? Hello. What?
I did come back. It's been a while.
Yeah. Yes, it has. Well, how long were you standing there?"
Not long. I just arrived.
"Oh, good. I hope that I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I thought I was alone. I did not mean to. What brings you to this location? Why would you Are we just out for a walk? This is a bit out of the way.
I actually heard you were out here. If I had known you
Really?
were picnicking alone, I might not have intruded. But yes, I heard you were in town, and I heard you were here, and I thought it would be nice to come and see how you've been.
Yes, alone. Yeah, picnicking. I was definitely picnicking alone, and you see him like starting to like shove the couple's glasses and like all like the duplicates of everything into the little basket that he brought. Yes, definitely alone. Just me in the mountain.
And this is Perfected Starfall, who Desert Star has been talking a lot about. How are you feeling?
Oh yeah, I mean, super conflicted. I is this some inner conflict?
Sounds like it is.
Oh, good. That's how I get XP. Let's do that.
That's true. What would you like to roll with?
Let's roll with let's see. I am conflicted, and this is passion. Yeah, this is definitely passion.
Fire. Okay.
Yeah. It's not my good thing. All right, let's see. So that's a 7 on inner conflict. So let's see. What does that mean? I gotta look at the basic.
You
notes.
must flee the scene or mark an element until you make a change in the entanglement.
I'm gonna mark an element. I don't think he would run away. Like, it's funny, but I don't think he would run away right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark
Fire.
Yeah. Okay.
And what does this look like visually? You almost freaking out, but keeping it together.
Yeah. Reckless, alienating, and scattered. Is that what it means when I've marked an element, or is that's
you can say that, or you can take narrative cues from it, but this doesn't have to be related.
I think so yeah, I think he sort of like gets up and walks over to Perfected Starfall a little faster than maybe he should, and reaches out to put his hand on your shoulder. Do you let him do that?
Yes, I think there's definitely a look of surprise and maybe a little smile. But yeah.
And he leans in. He says, I mean, of course you're beautiful. And sure, you're perfect. And he starts complimenting you as if he's incredulous. Like he's listing your attributes as if, why is that such a big deal? But maybe it doesn't come off that way. And so he just starts saying all of your positive qualities at your face.
I think I need to roll inner conflict now.
Yeah, seems like it. This is a very confusing situation.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Oh, I didn't pick a stat, but that would probably be fire, which is bad for this moment of passion. So I got a 9.
All right, 7 to 9, same thing applies. You can either flee the scene or mark that element.
Yeah, I'm gonna mark fire. I think Perfected Starfall is overwhelmed, but also kind of thinks that this is coming from a state of drunkenness on Gentleman Baoyin's behalf. And she's too shocked to really stop him, also kind of enjoying all of these compliments. So I'm just going to let Gentleman Baoyin ramble as my cheeks get more and more red from embarrassment.
And you heard a bird call. I'm going to say, yeah, Perfect Starfall. You hear a bird call that you know is actually Sarasanna's bear whistling. Like she is hearing all of this as well. And she's like, hello, I am winging you right now. Get a move on it.
Gentleman Baoyin, if you'll give me just one moment. So very kind of you to say all those things. I never expected that from you specifically. Has something changed since last we spoke? I was so glad to see you back in town. To hear you say all this is a great relief to my heart.
Jeez.
And he sort of I think he's like getting the realization of what he just did. And his eyes get real big, and he, oh right, yes. I I think something has changed. But and he's gonna try to like be polite here, but he's still pretty drunk, and so I don't know if I need to roll at that point. But
What are you trying to do?
so he's gonna try to like open up to her, and I think he's gonna let something slip that he's in a relationship, but or he's betrothed, but
Why don't you? Yeah, just I think not yet for a move.
Okay.
So you can talk and then we'll
Okay.
see.
I'm sorry, Perfected Starfall. I've had much to drink, and I've had a rough evening. But there is I'm still weighed down by an obligation from my past. And though things may be changing for me, I don't know if I am in a place to be what you need.
Well, what is this obligation? Whatever it is, we can work through it together.
Well, I am betrothed to another, and though I have not formally met them, they are here. And I am terrified of that obligation.
Perfected Starfall kind of stumbles back and rests against a nearby rock. What were you going to say, Agatha?
Well, I feel like this has to be another inner conflict.
Yeah, give me that XP.
And I think we will come. Oh no, we should. I want to see what are you? Yeah, let's get that roll first. What are you rolling with?
Okay, so now we're talking about my
It's not Gentleman Baoyin. I think it's Perfected Starfall.
Oh, Perfected Starfall is rolling. Okay.
Because this is a big revelation.
Yeah. So I can't roll fire because it's marked. So I think maybe water for flexibility, awareness.
Sure. Oh wait, no, it's inner conflict, so you can roll with everything except for your.
Oh, that's right.
Your style element.
So maybe metal for reflection. I think
Sure.
I like that. 7. Oof. Okay, I'm gonna mark metal as well, as I just kind of crumple into this, kind of waist-high rock by the mountain. I think I stumble out of the sunlight and into the shade as this happens, and we get one of those blowing wind. Some leaves fall over us, and I cover my mouth and say, "I see. So this is why you rejected me in the first place. I understand. Oh, this is terrible."
Okay, on that. Oh no, please have your response.
What? It was certainly a factor.
Who are you engaged to? Please don't tell me I know them. You said they work around here. They live around here.
Oh, yes. You may know them. They many-tempered Xiaohu was the. Of course, this was an arrangement made by my mother, who has gone missing since, and there was never any follow through. And I honestly, I don't even know if it is still. Of course, there has to be some way to speak to the family and see if that is still something they even wish for many-tempered Xiaohu.
You're saying there could be a lapse? This is great news. I could certainly talk to Razor Eyes Gonsung. I mean, he is my brother after all. I'm sure he had something to do with this arrangement. Let me go do that.
If you truly think that you could help me make a change for the better in this arrangement, I may have to tell you something that not many of my friends know.
And I think this is where I go to the other side of this engagement. Oh, man. Okay. So, many-tempered Xiaohu. Do you know Harmonious Owl? Like, have you had run-ins before?
I think we've had at least one where Harmonious Owl had sort of intimated to Xiaohu that she knew he was guilty of some sort of underhanded dealings. And Xiaohu, pretended to be completely oblivious to their hints. And I don't think they've approached him about it since then.
Okay, so let's say that it is it's very late in the night, and maybe you're just setting off home to wherever you're staying from, I don't know, the tea house.
I got the impression he had basically bought the upper floor of the tea house to stay at while he's in town for this event.
Oh, okay. So you're not usually in this area.
Right. I think he's visiting specifically he was visiting for something else, but now he's sort of gotten wrapped up in this Jade Serpent business.
Right. So. Okay, cool. So let's say that maybe you've sent your friends and off, and everyone's like, oh, I have to go. And freaking Tiger Skin, what's his name? Tiger Skin Guardian is like, yes, finally, and begins. He comes up to you and he says, "Would you like me to draw a bath, sir?"
Certainly, but first order me some rice wine. I think I need to just relax a little more.
Yes, sir. And he leaves and orders you some rice wine. They arrive very promptly. And he draws the bath for you and bows and says, "Please let me know if you need me to." I feel like this is possibly a strange conversation, but like, do you let your servants dress you and undress you? Because this is very normal if you wear like elaborate clothing, or if you just have servants.
I think he does have someone to assist him getting out of his like really fancy stuff, which he's wearing his really fancy stuff. So like he has help to do that part. Yes.
Okay, and it's like, probably not Tiger Skin Guardian, or maybe it is.
I would think that there are people that Tiger Skin Guardian is in charge of hiring. I figure those would change from town to town, like he would hire some locals to fill in while he's traveling.
Yeah, so he
mostly because he wouldn't want to do it himself. I just can't see him. He controls the purse strings in this situation, so I'm betting he would hire somebody.
Okay, yeah. So he like gestures for someone to come. He's like, "Go, go, go," and then the man is like, and nods, and comes towards you, and reaches out for whatever first tie there is, and as he's reaching out, you feel like you've seen him before.
I think he's unpinning his hair. He looks over and tries to get a closer look at the fellow. Do I know you from somewhere, my good man?
I think you're studying him, perhaps.
I think so. He's really puzzling over it. Let's see. I think he'd roll with water for this one. For awareness. Okay, that is a 4 on the dice. So he does not study all that well.
I mean, I guess that makes sense because you are pretty drunk. But
and he is probably not paying attention because it's a servant.
Yeah. And the person kind of like ducks his head and he says, "Yes, you are in charge of this washing of hands ceremony. Are you not, sir?"
Well, I don't want to claim sole responsibility for it, but I have been charged with many tasks related to it. Yes.
And he looks up, and you see his face fully, and it is 100% that man that was fighting in the street. And he says, "Perfect," and he grabs for you, and it's time for a duel. It's time for a drunken duel. I don't remember what scale I established last time.
Let's see. I think all the people we're fighting against in the street were our scale, like the individuals. There were a couple of like flunkies, but I think the main people were at our scale.
There was one guy, the one that you fought. He was below your scale, but yeah, this person is on your scale. So yeah, I'm gonna get you to roll duel with your style element.
Okay, my style element is Earth. Let me make sure of that, but I'm pretty sure that's what I said. Yes, and I think Xiaohu basically like makes a grab for his axe and starts to go into it. Let's see how this turns out. That is a 7.
Okay, hold on one sec. Sorry. This is gonna be a loud fight. Oh my gosh, and everyone's sleeping. Oh, hashtag rude. Okay, so you rolled a 7. Oh. We declare a shift in the friction. Oh, right, that was 10 plus. On a 7 to 9, you get to choose one. So he's at your scale.
Let's see. I think Xiaohu, his axe isn't close at hand, and he's drunk, so I think he's going to lose this one.
Ooh. So mark that XP and take +1 forward when you face them next time. So make sure you remember that, like write that in your like notes or in the story area or background, so that we don't forget. Great. I want to know. So you very loud.
What is this fellow's name?
His name is Stone Smasher, but you don't know that. Do you?
I don't think he ever got anybody's name because he wouldn't have been paying attention.
No.
But it says for me to narrate the loss. Like, is he looking to like kill me, or like what is he? How is he trying to do this?
What he wants to do is to rough times. What he wants to do is to injure you, and in a way where everyone will know about it the next day. He doesn't want you dead.
Okay, so it's
probably, you could die if that happens, but that's not his biggest aim. So he has a hatchet, which is funny because you have an axe. So he kind of like twirls his hatchet, and
does he want to leave a mark, or does he want me to like, does he want to like take off a hand? Like what level of humiliation is he going for?
Oh, like how savage? That's a really interesting question. I think that's maybe dependent on how well you're reacting. Are you really stumbling a lot? Maybe because you're actually very drunk, or because you're also like tripping over your clothes because it's like half.
I think it's a little bit of both. Like he's not completely drunk because he can hold his liquor. He's a big guy and he's used to drinking. Mm-hmm. But he's not used to fighting while half of his clothes are unwrapped from from the normal space. So I think he stumbled and it's sort of fumbling with that. His reaction times are a little bit slowed from the alcohol, and this guy is not slowed from the alcohol. So he tries to reach for the axe. The guy manages to cut him off from that. He trips over clothing and maybe one of the dressing benches in the room, and he falls, and the Stone Smasher guy manages to basically step on part of his robes to keep him from like rolling away or getting up, and then he comes in and he brings the axe down, and I'll say he takes off like a couple of Xiaohu's fingers, like as they're on the floor. Just chop.
Okay, and is it your dominant hand?
Let's see. I'll say yeah. It's his. We'll say it's his right hand.
Well, that makes me feel like you should take the wounded condition. What do you think?
I think so. I think that fits.
Okay. Please.
And then of course Xiaohu screams. And maybe Tiger Skin Guardian like bursts into the room, and then the guy basically jumps out the balcony window.
Yeah, and I think Tiger Skin Guardian does that thing where he's like, and he runs up to the window, like, and he's also really fast because he's also trained. And he looks back and sees you like clutching at your hand, and it's just like all bloody, and he's like, ugh, and he comes to you to help you instead.
Okay, and we get it basically bandaged up, and he takes some of the leftover rice wine as they're pouring on it as an antiseptic, and he yells and snarls at that because he's noisy anyway.
Uh-huh.
But I think he's basically bandaged up his hand, and he's told Tiger Skin Guardian to go get an apothecary, get a physician.
Yeah, and he like runs down, and then almost immediately, no, not like, I think like shorter than you, in a shorter amount of time than you would expect, he runs back up, and with him, holding one of those like apothecary medical boxes, is what's her name? Harmonious Owl. And she's just wearing her like civilian clothing, not like any kind of fancy magistrate garbs. Yeah, go ahead.
He like drunkenly like focuses in on her and like, what are you doing here at this hour?
And
you had to be right downstairs.
She has this look on her face like she's very displeased with the situation, and she says, "You have a great servant." And she goes to you. She starts like unpacking her box. Where are you injured?
And he shows her like the hand missing, like, let's say missing the not the index finger, thumb. He's got the index finger, thumb, and middle finger, but the other two are missing. So basically he's missing, let me give them those two fingers.
And she raises an eyebrow, but doesn't say anything at the moment. And she just kind of helps you. Blood, puts like herbs on it, and then she also turns to Tiger Skin Guardian and says, just give him the usual for. And then she looks at like the two fingers that are on the ground. Yeah, that can't be salvaged.
And he looks over at her just and says, "Well, luckily it's a two-handed axe."
Past finally caught up with you?
No, this person mentioned something about this washing of hands ceremony before he assaulted me.
See.
And he looks over at Tiger Skin Guardian accusingly, like, "I thought you vetted these people."
He just does the dramatic shrug. Are you in charge of that?
I have several duties attached to it. I did not set the whole thing up, but I'm in charge of its functions on behalf of the Meteor Grace clan. As he's holding his hand.
You're not in charge of it, and yet he chose to target you as opposed to someone who's actually in charge. What do you think that is?
Who can fathom the mind of a thief, an assassin, a brigand, bandit? I mean, perhaps he thought this would intimidate me into not being involved with the ceremony.
That's an interesting concept. Do you think you're important enough for someone to want to intimidate you?
I'm more than important enough for some brigand to think they could intimidate me and to think it would make a difference. But it will not. And he shakes it, and then he winces a little.
He says, don't pull it. Just leave that hand alone so that the wound doesn't start bleeding again. And she kind of like settles back and like it looks like she's considering something as she's staring at you. Was the last conversation that you had with her also like this?
I think so. She's cagey in a way that's not dissimilar to Perfected Starfall. Like they have a similar sort of gaze, like when they're talking to you about something. Like they don't they don't like look away from you at those cues where most folks would just sort of look away and let you like take a breather during a conversation. She just
Mhm.
always has her eyes like straight on your face, and it's weird and off-putting.
So, what has she accused you of before,
I think
or
she had,
hinted at?
I think she hinted that he was involved in a theft of some artifact of the Meteor Grace clan, and Shahu was not directly involved in it, but may have had some ties to the people who were. He has dealt with some shady people in the past.
Okay.
Mostly to keep from having, like, most of the time his deals have to do with keeping other stuff that he's done, other things he's been involved in, away from the prying ears and eyes of the Meteor Grace clan and his family.
So she leans back and she says, "You know I'm going to have to arrest Tiger Skin Guardian, right?"
What? Surely his incompetence is not cause for arrest.
Oh, in fact, he is too competent.
What?
I'm here to inform you of that fact. Make sure you don't move that hand. And she stands up. And then, like, as if on cue, a couple more people who look like they work for the law enforcement people in the area, they show up. And then Tiger Skin Guardian looks resigned and then says to you, "I've drawn another bath for you, sir."
And then he like shakes his head a little, trying to clear it, and goes, "What is she talking about? What is this? What is this nonsense she's spouting?"
Laid your clothes on the bed. And then Harmonious Owl like gestures, and then they just lead him away.
And I think he like shakes his fist at them as they're leaving and says, "This will not stand. You will hear from us.
Great.
If any will punish his incompetence, it will be me."
Hey.
And then he bangs his fist down on the table and like winces again.
Ooh, that sounds very painful. So, it's Starfall and Gentleman Volume. I believe we left off with Gentleman Volume saying, "I need to reveal a secret to you." I have a question. So, how long has it been since Gentleman Volume you've seen your mother?
Unless you have a reason why I would have seen her sooner, it's probably been a long time, like many years.
What is the memory of her? It maybe is not your favorite memory, but it's the one that you always think of whenever you think about her.
I think she was very like a perfectionist, right? Like everything had to be exactly perfect. And there is I think it was it was probably like a meal, like a practice meal, right? Like teaching him all the customs of what you're supposed to do at a meal, and how you're supposed to treat guests and things like that. And like her walking around with some sort of like ruler or something like that. And then anytime you would like reach for the wrong utensil, swat. And then like it's probably that. It's probably like that's like the bad memory that he has.
And what does she usually like to wear? What color?
I think
Or sorry, or is there a scent that you associate with her?
Oh yeah, let's go with that instead. That's gonna be. I kind of want it to be like an incense, like sage or something like that. Something that would have like significance, like maybe she prayed a lot or something like that, and so whatever incenses were used
Okay.
would always sort of like linger.
Okay. They didn't really use incense at that time,
Oh,
but
sorry.
we could say like, well, for like religious purposes. So,
Or maybe
but
she just had like a scent that she liked the house to smell like, and that
Mm.
was yeah. So she would maybe it was like a little pungent almost, like the house always smelled stronger than it probably should, and so
Yeah.
everything in the house always smelled like that. And it's
Yeah.
probably like a nice smell, but like too much of it.
And so you, as you're like like making the decision to really open up to refractive starfall, the wind changes direction, and you suddenly smell pretty strongly the scent that you immediately identify as belonging to the incense that your mother always makes herself.
And oh man, okay. That's so I think he's like talking right to Perfected Starfall, like they're pretty close. And then his head just like snaps to one, like to the side, looking to see if like upwind to see if someone's standing there.
And indeed, someone is, and it's like a higher vantage point than where you're standing. I believe there's a figure standing in the trees, high up in the branches, and they're silhouetted against the moon, so then you can't see any defining aspect of them.
So can everyone do like the feather step, like the walking on air, or is that just people that have the thing for it?
People that have martial arts skills.
Okay, so all of us can do that then.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Yeah, he like he says so to cut back, he looking directly at Perfected Starfall, he says, I may have to tell you something that very few people know about me. And then his head like looks this way, and then he's just off. He just starts running and doing the like up into the trees.
Awkward. Okay, let's get you to roll overcome to see how successfully you you are in trying to get to this person.
Oh, here we go.
What do you think you're rolling with?
Well, this is probably going to be wood. Because that's
Why?
Oh, actually, patience, growth, curiosity. I don't know. Well, that's his martial style. But for running on air, that might be more water.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, flexibility. Okay, I'm gonna go with that.
Okay.
Let's go with water. So we need 2 dice. Oh no. Let's see. So that's okay. It's a 7 total with water. So let's see what when you do something under pressure on a 7 to 9, there's a complication. The GM may present you a worse outcome or a hard choice.
Okay, let's see. So you're light-footing away, trying to catch up. I feel like if you were to speed ahead, I'm assuming that Perfected Starfall would be able to speed along as well, right?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
And I think what happens is you both get close enough to finally see the details of like any kind of defining detail on this person. And it is definitely a woman. And And let's see. Let me get to the images tab to remind myself. And the woman is wearing black with gold embroidery. And there's like, it's like embroidery of like some kind of plant. And then there's also like a gold sort of like branches and flowers that's kind of like pinned into her hair on the side. And half of her face is covered with a mask. And on the mask is a swirling jade serpent. And when you catch up, the both of you, from the side that is not covered, she smiles and says, "Hello, my son." And I'm pretty sure that Perfected Starfall is also there for that.
Yeah, that would be way better. Yeah, definitely. If that's okay with you.
What do you think, Perfected Starfall?
Yeah, I was definitely going to follow. So
Has been a night of revelations for you.
yeah, for sure.
And I think he steals a glance over at Perfected Starfall. And you can see kind of maybe some. He looks a little more resolute, as if maybe he's fallen into some earlier like training, or he's snapped to because of this person. But you could definitely tell that there's some pain here in his eyes. And then he looks back to the Jade Serpent and he says, no. I've spent so long trying to prove it's not true. It's not true.
Do you think you're experiencing inner conflict?
Oh, yeah, sure.
I don't mean to keep getting Elle to roll it, but I feel like the situation calls for it.
Okay, so this is my second inner conflict roll?
I don't know, but make sure that you're taking the experience that goes with it every single time you roll, because I don't remember.
I think I've leveled, so, or at least after this roll I will have. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, you totally get to level up mid-session. Just
re-roll selected. Ooh, look at that. Oh, I didn't say what I was rolling with.
Oh, right.
Crap. You know what? I'll just take my lowest one. But that would have been so it was a 9 on the dice. Actually, I don't know. So let's see. Caution, focus, presence would be Earth. That's my low one. That's probably fine.
It's either water or wood, though, isn't it? Because this is either you being patient or growing, perhaps, or having wisdom and or flexibility in such a overwhelming situation.
Yeah, curiosity too, because he's been trying to solve this puzzle for years of who the Jade Serpent really is, and kind of probably lying to himself that it's not his mother. So yeah, I could go with wood, patience and growth. So that would make it an 11.
Great.
So what happens on an 11?
You hold yourself together very well.
Oh, good. Okay. All right. I don't understand that. Why? How can I have spent so many years searching? Why didn't you just tell me?
There are many things that you don't understand, my son. But soon you shall.
And am I to understand that this your last wish for me before you left was should stand? That my betrothal to Many Tempered Shao, who is somehow part of your dastardly plot?
See that you believe the rumors about your own mother.
I believe the rumors about the Jade Serpent, but I, of course, did not believe you were the Jade Serpent.
You may do with the betrothal as you will. It should not matter after this.
After what?
And she looks like she's turning to leave.
I kind of want to give Perfected Starfall a chance to do something.
Yeah, Perfect Starfall.
Yeah, I think Perfected Starfall steps forward, just like a few steps in front of. Oh, no, I remember I have a move.
Storm Rider, yeah.
Yeah, I would like to storm ride to
Great.
ride in yeah to ride in front of Jade Serpent and
Sure.
calmly say a word, please. You know this town that you've chosen for your washing of hands ceremony is under the protection of the Meteor Grace clan. I would have your assurance that no harm will come, especially to civilians.
She looks at you. Surely you have heard of my reputation. Why
I
do you
have.
think I would guarantee such a thing? Is it not your job, considering that they are under your protection, to keep them safe?
There are many ways to safeguard something.
Trust you will do an excellent job of it.
So you have no intention of making any promises today.
My dear, I am simply going to retire.
Is that really so simple?
You cannot ask someone to give you something without offering something in return. I believe you should know that.
Officially, I do. Is there something you need from the Meteor Grace clan? Is that why you've chosen this town?
I think a better way is for you to offer. And I think if you want her to promise you, it's certainly possible, but you have to hearts and minds her.
Gotcha.
And accompany that with an offer of some sort. And she kind of like crosses her arms and says, I'm sure there's a lot of things within the Meteor Grace clan that you can offer me.
Yeah, I think, can I study her real quick to try to get an idea of what she might want?
Certainly.
I am going to use my final hold from Final Master to get a +1 forward on this.
Sure. And what are you rolling with?
I'm going to roll with Earth, I think.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Focus, presence.
Okay. So that's a 13, actually.
Excellent. Well, you get to hold. You can, again, ask a question, learn a scale, or reveal a detail.
I think I want to ask why she's retiring.
I mean, you see. Okay, so you're definitely very observant, and I think you see that she Even as she's crossing her arms, you see one of her arms that it's as is resting on her arm that it's shaking a little, like she can't quite keep it still. You think, oh, maybe she's not as strong as she used to be, perhaps.
She can't keep it up and live this lifestyle, maybe.
The Jade Serpent lifestyle.
Yeah.
And there's also a look of determination in her eyes. Maybe not as casual as she is coming off as.
Yeah. I think I kind of want to, if this makes sense, declare something. I really like the idea that Razor Eyes Gonson is in love with Jade Serpent. So maybe I can see his stamp on like a letter in her jacket or something like that.
Oh my gosh. So wait, so oh, interesting.
So I wouldn't have known that ahead of time, but maybe just noticing it or seeing the letter in her, his personal stamp on like a piece of paper in her robes or something like that.
Sure. That is definitely a detail you can declare.
Okay. Sweet. So I think I noticed that and looked back up at her directly in the eyes, maybe with a little bit of a smirk, and I think I say, I believe you know my position in this town and my relationship to certain people in the Meteor Grace clan. I have a lot of leverage that would be yours if I could get your word in return.
What exactly are you leveraging for me?
A personal favor, a way in, or perhaps to make sure no harm befalls you while you're in town. I can do all of these things.
Very well. I give you my word that I will not hurt any of the innocents or those that I deem to be innocents in this town. Nor will those following me.
Thank you. That is what I wish. I did not come here, I did not hear about you with the idea that I should believe every word that comes on the wind. We will see how the ceremony goes.
Yes. And while you're offering your protection, I would also like accommodations. One of those rooms in that tea house would be nice. And then she laughs and kind of like drops away and then turns in midair and lightfoots out of the scene.
Wonderful.
Can I say something? Can I have a parting shot before she gets away?
Definitely.
So I kind of want to try to comfort and support her. And I may have believed the rumors of the Jade Serpent, but I never thought you to be the Jade Serpent, Mother. Perhaps I was wrong.
That doesn't sound like you're comforting or supporting her.
About the Jade Serpent. Sorry, let me rephrase.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay.
Perhaps you had like she basically tries to say like perhaps there's more to the Jade Serpent than I understood.
I mean, yeah, you can totally roll for this. That's a very interesting thing that I would like to see. What are you rolling with?
Oh yeah, okay. Comfort and support. Flexibility.
Water? Okay.
Yeah. All right. Reroll selected. Oh God. Snake eyes. So
Okay.
so that's
So
a 4.
Yeah, definitely mark water.
Right.
Well, I guess
So much for that.
it's a good thing you didn't choose wood. And she pauses, and there's a slight turn in her head, like she's going to say something or just turn around to look at you, but then she continues on her way.
Yeah. And when she leaves, he like steps down to the ground and like drops to his knees. And I think he I don't know if he like openly weeps, but he's definitely crying.
Oof. Okay, so I think this is a good time for us to have a break. And I feel like, and I also feel like I want to move the time forward unless there was a bit more that you wanted to do Perfected Starfall. But otherwise, we should maybe jump ahead a few days or even to the next day. The dawn is breaking.
Yeah, right. I was just gonna comfort and support him, but we don't need to go.
We
through
can have
whole
that in
scene.
another scene. But yeah, okay, so we're gonna take a 10 so I can very quickly try to eat some food, and then we will, yeah, so let's come back at 45 after, and we will jump ahead. So, Chris, do you think Manny Tamashahu is gonna try to get his fingers fixed?
I think what he's probably going to try and do, because I don't think he believes he can get the fingers fixed. But I think he might try and wear some sort of really stylized glove or hand piece to to kind of highlight the situation and spin it like he heroically fought off some assassin in his in his bath clothes, basically. And he's going to spin it that way.
Right.
And so it's a
I
mark
guess
of
that's
hero-
not technically wrong.
It's a mark of heroism. He was trying to kill me, and he only got 2 fingers.
Got it.
Sounds pretty on brand. I like it. Agatha, I wanted to let you know that I took Rage of the Tiger as my new move.
Hmm.
Um,
You should read that to everyone, actually. So
okay, I'll wait for it.
this could apply for everyone.
Yeah. So, Rage of the Tiger says, when someone lies or breaks a promise to you and you find out, you gain a bond with them. In addition to the normal options, you can spend this to have one of their plans or activities go awry. Say what happens. If you burn this bond in an action against them, you get +2. So just so everyone knows.
So everyone start making promises. Yeah, I saw that and I was like, oh, okay. That's why.
Yeah.
Have one promise under your belt.
Well, I was going to say, if you want that to happen after the fact, like that, for this to go into effect after I made that promise with Jade Serpent, I'm cool with that because no one knew about it at that point.
No, I specifically had that promise made because I saw your move.
Oh, okay, cool.
Also, I mean, so I see that people are now have some elements marked. So and also may or may not be wounded, which is -2 ongoing to all rolls. So I just want to remind some like mechanical things that you can do to alleviate that. You could, for example, try to comfort and support each other. And if you roll a 10+ on your comfort support roll, you get to clear an element yourself or also like ask questions that they must answer, add a bond, etc. Another thing that you could do is you could have for the impress move, you when you act to impress others or succeed at a competition. So what you can do generally is if you have some kind of like cool artistic skill, or if you're like, for example, demonstrating to a bunch of students, what you can do is you can roll impress, and then if you succeed, you can also clear some of your marked elements. I mean, you don't have to. You could just live on the edge. That's fine too. But these are options. Now, I believe this is the next day, probably, or maybe. Okay. Excuse me. So so Tiger Skin Servant has been arrested. No biggie, I guess, in the middle of the night as well.
Yeah, I think he's, first thing in the morning after his head is cleared a little bit, he's going to proceed to the. He sent a messenger to get substitute servants during this time until he gets Tiger Skin Guardian out of jail, which he's very frustrated with because normally he would have Tiger Skin Guardian to handle things like getting people out of jail. So this is an extra level of frustration.
So who are you speaking to? Also, you're like suddenly a little quieter. I'm not sure why.
Let's see.
Just a little bit. Oh wait, I can turn you louder. I forgot.
Let's see. I think I adjusted my volume onto the headset too, so maybe that helps.
Okay.
Is that better or worse?
This is fine.
Okay. I think what what he's going to do is go try to speak to Tiger Skin Guardian at the jail the next morning.
Okay. You can certainly do that. You go to the excuse me, you go to the jail, and there's, oh my gosh, who do you find there but freaking Dogbone? Right? Dogbone was the guy that Graven Hunter had to like convince to let him into the tea house. So Dogbone also holds multiple jobs because, you know, people gotta hustle. Not everyone gets to be rich like like Manitoba Shell. So he's there. He sees you and he's like,
And he Xiaohu walks up and says, "My good man, I must see my servant Tiger Skin Guardian. He's being held unjustly in this jailhouse. Open the doors. Admit me so that I may speak with him."
I'm afraid I can't make that call, sir.
Certainly you can. If you couldn't make that call, you wouldn't be stationed here. There would be someone else out here at the door who could open it.
Your heart's and minding him.
Yes.
Go for it. What are you rolling with?
Let's see. I think let's see. I think he's legitimately sort of angry, so I think he's going to roll with fire.
Mm-hmm.
So with the wounded -2, that gives him basically a straight up dice roll.
Mm.
That is a 6, so that does not work out.
Did you want to burn a bond?
I think so. I think he's going to. I think he's going to basically call out the Meteor Grace clan. And he,
like, don't you know who I am?
Yes.
Don't you know the clan I run with? Yeah. Okay.
Like, you know who you're dealing with here. And let's see.
Right. Yeah, you can certainly do that.
Okay. On a 7 to 9, they can either do what I want, or they can instead choose one of the. Or does it say, am I supposed to choose one of these options, or are they supposed to choose them?
I would choose.
Okay. So does he simply let me in, or does he want...
Yeah, I'm looking at that right now. Let's say... Oh, I think I will say that I think he's like... I really... And when you say like the Meteor Grace clan, he's like, ugh, I really just... I'm going to ask someone, please wait here. And he leaves. And I think this is probably him hesitating.
Okay, so I will get +1 on going against him then? Is that one? Okay.
Yeah. This lasts until there's a major change with them in the fiction. But in the meantime, while he leaves, like the hallway is open for you to just walk through.
Oh, well, he does. I mean, he can go clear that with his superiors. Obviously, they would let me in. He walks in, walks back to where he can find Tiger Skin Guardian.
Yeah, you walk in and there's like one of the cells that I think they're all the same, and then he's kind of just like sitting there slumped down against the wall, and his hands are tied, and he's kind of just like, he looks like he may be asleep, or maybe he's just like, what is my life?
I think Xiaohu walks up and bangs on the bars. Get up, Tiger Skin Guardian. Explain this foolishness. What is she claiming that you have done that would warrant your arrest?
Sir, it's better if you don't ask. It's better if you can claim naivete or that you don't know any of this.
What do I not know? What should I not know?
Sir, all those times you took advantage of the fact that you are from the Meteor Grace clan and has forced your way into different trade routes. These, of course, you do not know of, and I am the one who has been taking all those money and buying your expensive clothing. Right, sir?
Of course you have.
Yes. Therefore.
Well, I shall make arrangements to have you released upon your own recognizance pending these charges being placed before a proper tribunal.
Right. Thank you, sir.
Then he starts looking around for one of the for Dogbone again.
Yeah, at this point,
he paces back outside looking for Dogbone.
Yeah, I think Dogbone actually runs into this like holding area and he sees you and he's like, oh, and he like turns around towards the door and he's like, I see nothing. I am going to my guard duty. Oh, what a cold day. And he walks and he like stations himself there and it's like purposefully not looking towards the doorway where you would be walking through to go back.
Okay. Well, he walks back out and he proceeds over to let's see. I'm guessing he would proceed over to the local magistrate. To
the office?
Yes.
Sure.
And find whoever the magistrate is and try to speak to them about this, this foolishness.
Okay. I mean, you get to the entrance of the magistrate's office and there's a man standing there and he kind of like excuse me, sorry. It was clearly like some kind of guard and he says, state your business, please.
I'm interpret Xiaohu of the Meteor Grace clan. I'm here to speak with the magistrate about this foolishness regarding Tiger Skin Guardian.
The magistrate's not in right now. She'll be in. And then he looks at the sky. Later.
Where is she now?
It's not my business to question where she is.
It may be your business. He says, you may regret not making it your business. And he waves a finger at him and then he stomps off. And he's going to try and find out from some other folks around exactly where the magistrate might be. If she's not in her office, then
yeah. I mean, if you were to ask around, you would know that she makes rounds pretty much on the daily, no matter the weather. She would like just kind of stroll through this town. Okay. And everyone kind of knows her schedule.
Okay, I think.
So while you think of what you do, I'm going to go to Perfectus Starfall and Gentleman Wulin. Excuse me, sorry. Gentleman Volume, you had a rather a rough evening, day till evening. Where do you go home? Do you go to the inn? Do you find your sister? Tell her any of this?
I think he does go looking for his sister. Once, like I think, I mean, I think after that, like display of emotion in front of perfected Starfall, he'd have to get out of there, and not want to deal with that. So he'd probably like rush off and see if he can't find her to see if she knew.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because he's probably feeling a little like he's second guessing all of his familial relationships. Like, did she know? Is she really care about me as much as I thought, and that kind of stuff. So he'd go looking for her.
Yeah, she's staying in like the like living area above the tavern that everyone in town actually goes to. So the one across the street from the tea house.
Okay.
Excuse me. And yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, it's okay. I was just gonna say he does he find her like in the common meeting place, or does he have to like go to her room?
I think she's probably in her room.
Okay. So yeah, so he would drop her name at the door and see if he can get her room.
And they're like, "Who are you?"
Oh, sorry. Yes, I'm a very old friend of what's my sister's name? Dancer of Loss.
Mm-hmm.
And I've just had some terrible news about her family, and I feel like she needs to know right away.
Do you flash your stolen Meteor Grace Clan badge?
Yeah.
In some way?
Yeah. I probably like pull it out of and hang it, like display it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the innkeep sees it. Excuse me, sorry. Sees it and is like, and tells you which room it's going to be. It's on the second floor, and it's the second from the left hallway across from the window.
So he's I don't even think he like says thank you. He just like walks away, and like heads up there quickly, and gets to the door and pauses for a minute before knocking.
And yeah, before you actually knock, because you pause in front of it, the door opens, and your sister's there, and she says, "Gentleman bowing, please come in." I mean, yes, come in.
And he'll go in, but he doesn't like. I think last time they saw each other, they hugged and they seemed really friendly, and he doesn't seem super friendly this time.
Yeah. And she hasn't noticed yet, because after you come in, she like doesn't close the door all the way, because she's like, oh, well, we're not technically related.
Oh, right.
So. And she just kind of like leaves it a little bit open, but then is like close it a little more, and then turns around and says, walks up to you, brother, do you have any news?
Did you know? All this time, did you know?
No, what?
I saw Mother tonight.
You saw? How is she? Is she all right? Is she the Jade Serpent?
Can I tell if she's lying?
You can study her.
Okay, I'm gonna do that. This would probably be with awareness, but I have a condition there. So do I just roll at nothing, or do I pick another stat?
Just pick another one.
So then maybe, how would he approach this situation if he couldn't try to just glean it? Metal control calculation. He's probably being a little more like calculating with his words than he normally would be. Oh, there's a 10 on the dice. So there we go. And I have a 0 on
Awesome.
that. So.
Yeah, 2 holds. So you can ask questions about her. You can ask for her scale. You can also establish a detail.
Okay, so I want to ask questions. One, did she know that Mom is the Jade Serpent?
I feel like this is something you should establish.
Oh,
do you
okay.
think that she knew, or do you think that she didn't? I mean, I could also make something up, but
sure. Yeah, I mean, I can establish a detail for that. I think it's more interesting. Well, it's worse for him if she knows, because then he's alone. But I think that might be the better story, because it sort of puts him completely outside and leaves him vulnerable to perfected starfall later.
okay. So I will. Okay. So I think what you notice, unless you want to say something that you wanted to establish, that you can establish that you can tell that she knew, and I think how you notice this is from her kind of knapsack. I don't know, her cloth bag sitting on a side table. You notice actually peeking out of it just a little bit is a mask with a jade serpent on it. And when she notices your gaze, she like quickly goes over and like closes it.
And then I want to know her scale.
Oh, what is her scale? I think your sister is above your scale.
Oh, good. That's what I was hoping.
Oh, I wonder.
Because I think we duel now.
Great.
What happens if I fight someone above my scale?
You definitely lose.
You lose. You just lose. Okay.
But you roll to see how. And I do want to say that in terms of scale, so this is not a part of the basic moves tab. This is the other moves tab. What you can do is there's the new technique thing that you can do, which is you go off to develop a new technique to face a foe of higher scale. And then we'll have a training montage, and then we'll see how successful that is and all that jazz. But you don't have time for that right now.
Yeah.
Your sister, I think how you notice that she is freaking a lot better than you is so Taunt of the Monkey, and that is that like a part of the Frosthearth Palace like thing that was taught to you?
I think that's something I picked up. That's like my Wanderer. Like I picked that up. It's sort of a collaboration of all the different defensive techniques I've learned. And so it sort of eschews, it throws off all of the, like, probably Frosthearth Palace is really aggressive. And so his style is really like, wait for them to come to you and use their moves against them.
Yeah, the Frosthearth Palace style is probably Thousand Spear Palm, right? That sounds
sounds good.
Sounds nice and aggressive.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, so she and Spear Palm, and I think a defining characteristic of people who practice that is that they're first of all, their nails are really short, which I guess all martial artists' nails are probably short, but also their palms are especially soft because they channel so much of their inner power through it that it's like there's the muscles always need to be relaxed, and then this is some kind of like special thing that need to train up, and you don't remember like, I guess, details about your sister and how much she trained with the Thousand Spear Palms, but you remember your mom and all those times she leveled a ruler at you, like such a casual, normal mom and not a martial artist master. Her hands were also very soft, and like the times when she like after you were crying and then she would just like take her handkerchief and wipe your tears away, you remember the feel of her hand on your cheeks. And they were very soft and silky, and they had even a little bit of a very tiny bit of a glow to them that you notice right now on your sister.
And I think I look at her and I can't believe you knew all this time and you said nothing. You let me wander for years? I couldn't face her, but I can face you. And he does a little kick back and lands in the little monkey crouch. And he's got his staff ready.
And she's like, no, you don't. I don't want to fight you. We just wanted to keep you safe.
And I think he's taunting her, right? That's the style. And so keep me safe. You lied to me. You all lied to me. You're nothing to me now. And so he tried to provoke her.
Oh, are you trying to hearts?
Oh, am I hearts and is this not a duel?
Or you can just duel. You can duel. You can roll to duel. I think that's an interesting.
Because I think narratively he wouldn't take the first strike, so he would try to egg her on, or maybe instead of insulting her, trying to do a deep cut in the family thing, he would say something like, "Go on then, show me the style that mother never taught me." Something like that.
Okay. Have you roll?
Oh, good. Okay, so let's see. That's a 7. Plus wood is a 9.
Great.
So
mark an element, and you also. So on a hit, you may declare how you lose.
Okay.
What element are you marking?
I mean, I think it has to be wood, right? Or should I? Or is it? Can I mark any element?
I believe right here it doesn't say which one it is, so I'm going to give you the option.
Okay, then I'm going to go metal because I don't think I can I don't think I can maintain control anymore. He's getting all messed up. Okay. Cool. So yeah, so he marks metal, but I get to say how I lose. So he's got this he's really used to being able to sort of parry every blow. But these palm strikes come so fast that for every one he knocks away, 2 more hit him. And so he'll pop up onto he'll try to do his cool kip up or look, he'll dodge out of the way and then look cool, but she's already there and knocking him down again. And I think by the end he's beaten. I think. Oh, I bet his staff breaks. That's when he knows he's not going to be able to do anything because she just snaps the staff instead of him on purpose. And he's standing there by a window, and he just rolls and throws himself out the window. Or is that does that count as losing the fight?
Sure. Yeah. And she runs up to the window and looks out to see you out of there. And she follow.
You broke up a bit. She does not follow?
She does not. Okay. Am I still?
No, you're good. Yeah, so he's running off into the night.
No, now it's daytime.
Oh, sorry.
This is the next day.
Yeah.
People need sleep.
Moving through the crowd.
Perfect Starfall. So yesterday was a lot. You learned a lot. And Gentleman Bobby, before you could say anything to him, just kind of after bursting to tears, also ran away. So I think this is the next day, and let's say that. Do you think you're going to speak to your brother, or do you think you have a conversation with your best friend first?
I mean, I definitely like the idea of talking with Sour Sadness Bear, but I think even before I would go see my brother, I need to go talk with Many Tempered Xiaohu.
Sure. Yeah, you go to the tea house, and then someone there is like, "Oh, he's not here. Also, his servant was arrested last night. Sorry, ma'am."
How dare you let that happen? But we'll don't worry about it. And I think she also takes a moment to set up a room here for Jade Serpent.
Yeah.
Just kind of puts a down payment on another of the floors of the tea house.
Great.
So now there's like one floor left.
Yeah, I mean, the owner is like, sure. I mean, that's a lot of silver. And then, like, kind of like scoops them in.
Comedic money grab.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know where Many Tempered Xiaohu went?
I don't know, but I would assume it probably has to do with the jail, maybe? He talking to the magistrate? I'm not sure.
I'll go find him. Thank you for your help.
You're welcome, ma'am. Thank you for the business. And so Many Tempered Xiaohu, where does Perfected Starfall find you?
I think outside the magistrate's office, where she would have to pass through to come to her office. There's this sort of like a little town square sort of space, and I think he's stomping around there, and eventually, I think what he's going to try and do is draw a crowd, and he's going to make a very public demonstration of his continued martial prowess in order to make a point to the town that the Meteor Grace clan is still here and is willing to protect them, even after being injured by assassins in the night. Even after the local magistrate has betrayed the Meteor Grace clan and arrested my servant. And so that's what he's gonna try and do.
Awesome. I want to see this. So what are you rolling with for impress?
Let's see. I'm thinking he's still sort of infuriated by this whole situation. So I think he's going to be rolling with fire, but he still has the wounded condition. So he's at a -2. So this is going to be basically straight up die roll. That is a 9.
Wow, you have amazing rolls. Okay, so let's see. Impress. When you impress others or succeed. Okay. Describe your performance. On a hit, you impress and convince. Pick 2 options. Then I will also offer you a complication or hard choice. And so, are you?
Ooh. Oh, wait a second. Could I burn that bond to make that into a 10?
Yes, you can.
Since Perfected Starfall is wandering up during the midst of this thing.
Sure. Yeah, maybe like people see you and then they see Perfected Starfall and they're like, "Oh yeah, Meteor Grace clan, they're great." Perfected Starfall's presence really boosted your believability.
So I think what he's going to do, number one, is he's going to clear that wounded condition. I think between the herb poultice that Harmonious Owl had placed on his hand, and his confidence now using the wounded hand during his demonstration, I think he's kind of gotten past the wounded condition.
And you can. Oh, go ahead.
He picks one more, right?
Yeah, you can create a bond or gain a favor with anyone that could be in the crowd. And I can.
If Harmonious Owl is coming up, I want to gain a favor from her.
Sure.
I want her to release Tiger Skin Guardian into my custody.
Interesting. I feel like yes, the move allows for that, but I don't know how you can justify that narratively, right? Like if we're thinking about this, she literally is arresting him for something that you did. So unless you're saying, yes, we're so great, also, uh, listen, I will take responsibility for these actions, so release him. Like, unless I feel like, unless you kind of own up to something or like agree to help her out in some way, she's probably not going to just let you get away with just taking your servant because what, the crowd loves you, or if you like really get everyone to like turn on her, then that could work too. But I want to see what angle you take.
Well, see, with the impress, I don't know if I can turn them on her necessarily. But well, let me see if you think this might work.
Yeah.
He is as he's doing his demonstration, he is recounting his version of the events of the evening. That he was assaulted in the night by an assassin in this town. That the magistrate is supposed to be guaranteeing is safe. That he had to fight off this assassin in his bedclothes, sacrificing 2 of his fingers to ward off certain death. And then, upon being summoned by my servant to treat the injuries that were the result of her own incompetence, she has the gall to arrest one of the very people who is attempting to come to my aid. In the midst of all of this, in the midst of this conflict that she had the responsibility to prevent, these actions that she has the responsibility to prevent, she had the gall to engage in this. And
yeah, the crowd is like, oh, what? And she, let's see. So Harmonious Owl always carries a flute with her, and her eyes narrow, and she brings her flute up in a way that is like subconscious and a little bit aggressive, but then she puts her hand back down and she walks up to you and she says, you know that he was never the person that I was after. You admit to things. We can talk. Don't want to arrest him.
He says, we will speak. Follow me into your office. And he walks toward her office.
Yeah, she just like shakes her head and walks away while maybe there's like a guard who's following her. It's like, simmer down, and the crowd is like, oh, maybe he's getting arrested. Oh no, what has justice fallen into in this town, and all that jazz. Perfect Starfall, you also see this. You see Targaryen Guardian making a ruckus yet again, and talking to Harmonious Owl, the very honorable magistrate, and then wait.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna, since people know I'm here, I won't try to like, be sneaky or anything. I'm just gonna kind of follow behind them to the magistrate's office, and because I still have business with Xiaohu, so I'm gonna follow along and see if I can aid him in any way.
Cool. Yeah, and I think as you're walking towards there, you see someone just running through the crowd. I believe it's probably Gentleman Balyin, right? I don't know if you notice her, Gentleman Balyin.
He's pretty beat up, and you know what? I kind of want him to like get knocked over and end up splayed out like somewhere near Perfected Starfall.
Great. Yeah, you bump into this fruit cart, and the person's like, "Hey, watch where you're going!" As you're splayed on the ground.
Oh, I will definitely. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I will definitely like look to Xiaohu, and then look back, and the choice is clear. I like rush over to Cinnamon Valiant's side and scoop to help him up.
And yeah, he takes your hand and pops up, and he looks like maybe he's got like a bloody lip, and his hair is all messed, and because he's got that great hair. And he says, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. Thank you for helping me. And he keeps looking back over his shoulder to see if anyone's coming after him.
Were you in a fight? Are you all right? Do you need medical assistance?
And he's like, no, I'm fine. And then he like you see him like grab his side and like wince, as he tries to stand up straight. He's like, maybe a little.
Who did this? We need to report it immediately. The magistrate's right there.
Oh, I didn't. I couldn't tell who they were. It was. Listen, that's not. I can't. If we could just get somewhere quiet, maybe.
Yes, of course. Let's go back to the.
And I think the Harmonious Owl turns around at this point, and she says, "Professor Starfall, would you be coming with us?"
Oh, inner conflict. Let's see. What do I have left to roll with?
I love how Vinny Timbershaw, who, despite being the one character that has lost 2 of his fingers, is absolutely free
I
of
know.
any marked elements.
I think I'm gonna roll with Earth, mostly because the condition side of it has like obsessive. Is kind of what I'm feeling right now.
Sounds good.
Oh, sorry, I'm having to use my phone because my computer's freaking out. Okay, so that's a 9. I think that Perfected Starfall is still just tired and haggard from everything that's going on, and cannot bear to mark another element. So I'm trying to figure out who am I fleeing from at this point? Am I fleeing from Harmonious Owl, or am I fleeing from Gentleman Bao Yin?
Which one do you feel like Perfected Starfall actually wants to go to?
I want to go with Gentleman Bao Yin.
All of them. Yeah, you could run away from everything. Responsibility, your complicated feelings.
Yeah, that probably makes the most sense. I think I blurt out, Jade Serpent is staying at the tea house, and there's space for you there. And I run away from Gentleman Bao Yin, and just ignore Harmonious Owl completely. I've got to go. It's important Meteor Grace Clan business. I'll come and see you later, Harmonious Owl.
Harmonious harmonious owl also turns around and sees you, bogging, and she pauses, and then she says, "Young master."
And he like limps over towards her.
And she walks up to you and she says, "What? Are you all right? Why are you wearing the Meteor Grace Clan badge? What?"
I don't know if this is the best location for this conversation.
And she like stops herself, looks around, sees freaking Many-Term Michelle
who is watching
standing there.
this intently.
Yeah. And she's like, "Yes, of course you're right, but we need this attended to. Please follow me."
I mean, he's pretty hurt, so if he thinks this is a friend, he'll probably go with them.
Yeah, she walks up to her office, which is not super far from here. It's a town. With, I guess, Many-Term Michelle who there as well. You see this dude, the dude that this is the guy that I always forget her name too. Dancer
of Loss
seemed very close to. Anyway, but he's now beat up. Is referred to as young master. Say anything?
I think he nods. He says, "A friend of our magistrate?"
Oh, of sorts. It's good to see you, Many-Tempered Xiaohu.
Yes, it is. Have you? I recall we met after that dust up in the garden the other day, or in the marketplace. You were coming with Dancer and I up to have tea, and you disappeared.
Yes, I suddenly remembered that I had something very important to attend to.
There's a lot of that going around, I've noticed. So many important things going on in this small town.
Strange you haven't noticed any of them.
Some of us have actual real business to attend to, as opposed to random, mysterious, important things. Come,
yes.
Let us go speak to this magistrate so that we can clear this foolishness up.
Say, you seemed quite familiar with my with Dancer of Loss.
Oh yes, we have known each other.
How long have you known her?
Oh gosh, several years. I mean, we've spoken on many occasions. There was at one point arrangements were made for my betrothal to her brother, but
you don't say.
Those there have not been any additional queries or communications regarding that arrangement for some time. I suspect that that arrangement may have been cast aside by the Frosthearth Palace after the unfortunate events of that house's fall.
We can only hope, I suppose. I mean,
well, I would wish no harm upon the Frosthearth Palace, but now I must confess I find Dancer of Loss far more intriguing than this person I'd never met.
Oh, full of intrigue she is. How familiar are you with Dancer of Loss? Do you know much of her family, her training?
I'm certain she has had training. The Frosthearth Palace was well regarded before its unfortunate collapse.
Right.
I'm sure she was well trained, as would any member of that house.
Yes. Well, so I guess you wouldn't know. Well,
Wouldn't know what.
oh, just that it's not really all that important. I assume you'll find out in time.
Oh, I tend to find things out. Yes. Come,
And
as we're
Harmonious Owl turns around and says, "Young master, this way, please."
Yes, of course.
And as we're walking, I think Xiaohu starts to basically retell the harrowing events of his great heroism just before Bath and fighting off the evil assassin. Basically recounting it again as they're walking up to the magistrate's office, loudly enough so that the crowd can still hear him as he's telling it to he's telling it to Gentleman Bao Yin for the first time.
Yeah, and General Buying, I think this is the first time that you feel like you are absolutely in the center of attention for everyone that's around you, because everyone just turns around. And some people are just like, what is he talking about? Some people are like, oh, didn't you know he had his demonstration? And then it's just like everyone is staring.
Yeah, and of course I'm like all beat up. Well, it sounds like you are quite the hero then.
You're
And I'm
walking into the magistrate's office.
Hero is such a strong word, but probably very apt.
And I'm going to try to make like all of this attention. I'm going to try to make sure it's on Xiaohu instead of like anyone paying attention to me. And so I'm going to try to throw anything back to him and sort of.
Xiaohu will roll to comfort and support that effort.
Sorry, how are you comforting and or supporting?
No, I was saying like when he's trying to project attention onto me to make himself less conspicuous, Xiaohu will definitely cooperate with that effort.
Yeah, if you loudly declare that, I think that should probably work. I don't think you need to roll for it. People weren't talking about you to begin with, so I think this just confirms what they were saying. They're like, oh, he is a hero.
Cool. Yeah. So
you go into the magistrate's office,
yep.
And Harmonious Owl says, "Please sit here." And then the guard looks at the both of you curiously, like, "Oh, what's going on?" But then keeps to himself because, again, it's not his job to question the magistrate. And then he sees you, Manny Xiaohu, and he's like, "Oh, you found her. Good job." And then kind of like stands back into his guarding position.
Okay, now are the guards in the office, or is this us just walking through the front gate?
Yeah, he's just outside of the office. Okay. Is the one that you were talking to. So you go in, and then he closes the door behind you. And Harmonious Owl, like, this is a very small office. The magistrates, especially if you don't take bribes, you're usually really poor. You're not paid very well. It's a thankless position. And so it's kind of like a little bit run down, very small, and it's just like the paint is peeling off of the pillars. And he just kind of, she says, "Please sit here," and then she gestures you to a bench, goes and takes a box, opens it, and then it is filled with medical supplies. And it's 210.
Is she tending to Gentleman Bao Yin?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think you need tending to.
Okay. So is that is she helping me clear a condition, or is there some kind of role that happens here?
That's a very interesting thing. NPCs don't.
They can't do that, huh?
No.
Well, if it's possible, Xiaohu can try and lend some aid. And I think he's at this stage he's looking over at you and he's like assessing you. He says, "Well, looks like you definitely have been through a serious fight. You're still walking, so you obviously gave a fairly good account of yourself."
I was foolish, and I let my emotions get the better of me. Actually, I took on a greater foe.
Sometimes
Um,
foolish action is required to learn.
So wise. What?
'Cause
You should roll on that.
I like that.
What are you rolling with? Many term Shahu, what are you rolling?
Oh,
with?
okay. Oh, I thought you were asking him. Okay. I'm.
No,
I
it's
think
you.
I think he's going to be rolling. Oh, let's see. I'm thinking probably. This is him. Showing his wisdom, which he has at a +0. So it's going to be just a straight up roll. Let's see how
Okay.
well. Let's see how well this goes. That's a 10.
What? What? Okay. Okay. So you comfort and support the heck out of Gentleman Volume.
And I think he's going to gain. I'm going to take a bond with Gentleman Bao Yin, if that's okay with Gentleman Bao Yin.
Yeah, yeah. I actually think he's starting to see that maybe there's something under all this bravado.
So let's not go that far.
This is his impression. Oh no, Gentleman Volume, you are too trusting. Which one are you clearing?
Let's see. So he's telling me that foolish action can cause help you gain wisdom. I am gonna clear. Well, let's see. Water would give me wisdom back, but clearing fire would be foolish action. So let's go with that. I'm gonna get me some foolish action.
Great, that sounds good. And I think while you're saying this, Harmonious Owl also turns around to look at you. And says, huh, you really mean that?
I really mean all the things that I say.
True, you've lied multiple times to my face, but
I really meant it. And I think at this stage, Xiaohu looks at her and says, so you've asked me in here to discuss the matter of Tiger Skin Guardian.
well, I didn't want to discuss the matter with him. I wanted to discuss the matter with you. And she turns and nods at you to her body and says, Master, if you'll just give us a moment.
Yeah, I'll scoot 3 feet to the right because you said this is a tiny building.
Says, I can't arrest you. Might as well pay up all the things that you owe to the various people. If you do that, let your poor hapless servant go.
He looks at her for a moment and he says, let me put this before you and see what you think. What you think I have done is engage in all these various seemingly nefarious trade deals, negotiations, all of this. And then I appear in this small town to participate in this washing of the hands ceremony that will draw out this criminal, this conspirator, this brigand and bandit Jade Serpent through this ceremony. How do you think I achieved the credibility with the various factions that would allow for me to engage in this washing of the hands ceremony without creating this facade of seeming criminality and corruptibility. This has all been part of a very carefully orchestrated arrangement to place me in this position to get close enough to the Jade Serpent in order to finally bring about her downfall. By interfering with me here and by bringing this to a head before that has been dealt with, you are interfering in that long-term plan to deal with the Jade Serpent. And this is absolute crap, by the way.
Yeah. She's staring at you in that same way again that she always does when you're talking to her. And she says that our purposes do not align. I will, as you like to say, cut you a deal. If you promise and carry through on the promise that you, during the washing of hands ceremony, will not harm the Jade Serpent in any way possible, and that no one under your control will do so either, then yes, I will release Tiger Skin Guardian.
Will not harm or will harm? I couldn't quite hear that part.
Will not.
Okay. And he says, I believe I can agree with that.
I'm not saying that you should lose. I'm just saying that she will be unharmed in any underhanded way or any proper way, neither of which should apply.
I can agree with that.
Great. And she turns around and she calls for oh no, I need a name.
Dogbone?
Nah. Dogbone is at the jail.
Okay.
She calls for Xuegang. She says Xuegang, and the guard who was at the door opens the door and says, "Yes, ma'am," and release that man. And he turns around and looks at you, Tiger Skin Guardian. It's like, yes, ma'am. And then he leaves. And she goes over to you now, Gentleman Boggy, and she says, "Young master." And then she briefly turns around again at you, Meritor Shahu, and she says, "You can go. Take your servant."
Very well. And he nods to Gentleman Bao. If you happen to see Dancer of Loss, tell her I appreciated the tea, and I would appreciate having more later at a time of her choosing. And he waves goodbye as he steps away.
Thank you for your kind words, and I hope you get everything you're looking for.
I usually do. And he leaves.
And Harmonious Owl says, "Yeah, master, what happened?"
I made a foolish mistake. I dug deeper than I wanted to. I learned things I thought I needed to know. And now I don't know where to go from here.
May I ask what you have found out?
What is your... When was the last time you spoke to my mother?
And she gives you that same look that Minnie Timbershell always describes. And she nods. It was very recently, young master.
Same. I don't know why I thought... I spent so long trying to prove something. I kind of made my whole life about it, you know? And now that I know that it's not true, and that the facade on which I laid all of my frustration and blame has crumbled, I honestly don't know what to do with myself.
I may ask, what do you think? What do you think? Your mother is up to?
I truly believed I think
What do you
she
think she's
is...
doing? Do you believe that she is this evil figure?
I never thought that she could be that evil person. The evil person that I thought the Jade Serpent was.
And then she...
Now-
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
And she smiles and she says, then that is what matters. It would really be better if you were not to find out more. But this is... I would like, if you find it in you to believe my words, your mother would very much like for you to be safe. And this was the way she chose to protect you.
And in doing so, she has doomed my sister to her fate.
Your sister has seen more than you have the day that Frostearth Palace was destroyed. As have I. This wrong cannot go unpunished. But again, this is not the life that your mother wanted for you. And I apologize that I am stepping out of my place to tell you this.
No need to apologize. I could use some guidance, I think. I think I have someone to apologize to.
And she nods. And then she bows to you. And she goes and starts on her paperwork for the day.
Before he leaves, he looks back and says,
Yes.
That many-tempered Xiaohu, is he an honorable man?
That's a funny word to associate with him.
So no, then.
And she nods at you again, or half bows, and then goes to her table.
Very well. All right.
Oh, actually, I do want to know.
What?
Okay, I want to know what happens with Perfected Starfall. Okay, very quickly.
We can save it for next time if you want. But
we could. But I do want to know, where do you run off to?
I have to go see Sour Sad Despair at this point, and then I would probably want to go see Razor Eyes Gongsun.
Okay. And I think this episode ends with just like this view of you kind of light footing out of the city, maybe light footing through the streets, and like maybe one of your pins becoming undone, and then all of them getting ruffled in the wind, and then your hair just being blown.
Yes.
Struggle.
Love it.
Or maybe not. I don't know. That's how I see it.
And then I think we cut to the office of Razor Eyes Gongsun, and he's writing.
Yeah, intensely writing.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the end of this session. Let's do the end of session real quick with the entanglements. So again, it's to see if we touched on the entanglements, and then the highlighted entanglement, if we've had that featured in the session, you get 3 experience points, and then the non-highlighted one gets 1 experience point. So let's start with you, Perfected Starfall.
I think we definitely featured the romantic one with Gentleman Villainy, but not the one with Graven Hunter really at all. So just 3 XP.
Okay. Gentleman Villainy.
I'm inclined to say that we hit both of mine. The rejected Perfected Starfall because of I'm in love with Desert Star, and then my hidden identity from Desert Star because of my engagement.
Mm-hmm.
I think both of those came up pretty heavily.
Great. Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Many term with Xiaohu.
I think we hit both of his. Like we drew in both of those. So
yeah, I agree. Nice. And I see that Zhenwen Baoyin, you also got a new move. Ooh.
Yeah, because I leveled up, right? That's what I wasn't sure what my options were for hitting 8 XP, but I assumed a new move was one of them.
Yes, advancement is under the other moves tab.
Oh, okay, cool. I'll have to check that out. But yeah, I grabbed a Royal Tramp. You may attempt to escape a situation even when surprised. When you try to escape, roll on a hit, you get away. On a 7 to 9, choose a complication. And then on a miss, you leave yourself vulnerable.
Okay, so I guess we gotta have you trapped somewhere. Cool.
I think it's going to be a wedding. I don't know. Leave someone at the altar, maybe. We'll see.
Oh, geez.
I don't know. We'll see. See
Yeah.
where he ends up.
Okay. And Chris, has Many Michelle who leveled up?
yes, he just went over. I'm trying to decide on which move to pick. I'm torn between Heads for Sale and taking shadow boxing out of the unorthodox move list.
Okay. Yeah, so for advancement, you can add 1 to an element 5 times, once for each element. So, and then you can add a new move from your playbook, new move from another playbook, or add a custom move for your martial style.
Yeah, I'm not quite confident enough to create my own custom move for my martial style quite yet. Maybe next time. Maybe next time. I'm still not used to it yet.
Okay. And let us. Oh, sorry, we're at the hour, but I really want to do Stars and Wishes. If anyone cannot stay, like that's totally fine. So if you need to go. Okay, great. So, Stars and Wishes. Let me double check that I haven't. Yes. Okay. Let's start the other way around. So let's start with you, Chris. For stars.
Okay.
Let's do like just everyone do stars, and then everyone does wishes. So only do your star right now.
Okay. My star first. Agatha, you pulling everybody together perfectly. I'm loving how all of this stuff is just sort of just coming into this super tight weave, and it just feels really great. I love Perfected Starfall's reactions to everything that's going on. Like that's been great to watch. Seeing all these crazy revelations coming out of Gentleman Bao Yin. I mean, like that basically like we're only in the third session, and then we're basically like we've like thrown the whole skein of things wide open when it comes to what's going on. So that was just a big revelation session, and I can't wait to see what comes next from that.
Yeah, totally. Oh man, I'm just thinking that Eduardo's going to come back to so much stuff. Kurt.
Let's see. Oh my gosh. I had at some point in the chat I typed "so good," and it was because I was like, oh, that's my star for Agatha, and I've forgotten what it was. It's like one of the first. I don't remember what happened now, but I just remember thinking, oh, that's the one. That anyways, your characterizations for all the NPCs are so good. So stars to you for wrangling us and being awesome. I cannot remember what happened. I meant to take notes and then I didn't. Man, I really just love the undeserving bravado that Many Tempered Xiaohu has. And like I cannot tell if you actually are a bad guy or if you just say you know things and don't actually know them. And I can't tell. And so that's my star, is that I need to know. So you're doing so thank you. The portrayal is perfect. And I really love our Perfected Starfall. I love how smitten she is, and how like I love watching you. I loved watching you struggle between like Bao Yin on the ground and Xiaohu over here, and then just leave the whole thing and do none of it. That's so good.
Speaking of which, Joshua?
Yeah, I will third the stars for Agatha. Like some of the questions you asked, the clarifying questions were spot on. Like, what does Bao Yin's mom smell like? Like these are just perfect. And then when Harmonious Owl was like, hey, are you coming with us, Perfected Starfall? I'm like, no, I don't want to. So yes, kudos for that. Chris, Xiaohu is becoming like so many layered. It's so good. And yeah, Kurt, way to go with the pushing yourself into the what's the word I'm looking for? The conflict with your family is just like spot on. So I'm loving all of the like layers that keep coming out, and the fact that all the players are really leaning into these terrible things that are happening to them. We're just gluttons for punishment, and it's wonderful. So yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. My star goes to, let's see, I think I have a star for both Kurt and Joshua for being like, I need to roll inner conflict. And I was like, yes, you did. Cue yourself. That was so good. Oh, Kurt, you remember your star. Oh, tell us.
It was your reaction, your facial expression as Desert Star when you ran into Perfected Starfall, and like your eyes were like over here, and just like you were doing a really good like bashful like super in love, and like your facial expression got me. I was like, oh my god, I love her so much. She's so good.
So cute. I really like that character. She's so adorable. But thank you. Yeah, my star definitely for the self-queuing of inner conflict. And let's see, I think I really liked Kurt, I really liked all of your, I feel like all of your reactions to the things that are happening are very like they're following logically where the narrative would lead. So, and there were a couple of moments where I was like, yeah, that's very cool. For example, like when Jade Serpent leaves, and then you're like, I fall to my knees and cry, and I was like, that makes sense. Like, this is a very emotionally overwhelming moment, and it was just very good, kind of like a logical flow, and I really appreciated that. And and also for you, Joshua, I really enjoyed that negotiation scene between Perfected Starfall and Jade Serpent. I thought that was very interesting, and I like that the detail that you establish is that there's some kind of like relationship maybe between Jade Serpent and Razor Eyes Gongsun. Very interesting to explore. I thought that was cool. And then for Chris, I think my star goes to the moment when you're like, I am in the market and telling my tall tale of bravery, and I am going to impress everyone to clear my wounded condition from my chopped off fingers. That was amazing. I love that so much. So these are my stars. Let's go around in the same order for wishes. Don't remember who I started with. So whoever started, just go.
I think we started with me this time. I'd basically I'd like to see more. I'm not sure how much more we can like have revelations about, because I think Bao Yin sort of blew those doors wide open this time. But I'd love to see start to see some of the ramifications of all of that stuff that he's discovered, and how that sort of bleeds into all these other stories. Like, how is the revelation that like Dancer of Lost has that mask, that Jade Serpent mask with her? How is that going to feed into what's going on with her and Xiaohu, and what's going on with Razor Eyes Gongsung and the current Jade Serpent? Like, I can't wait to see how all of that stuff sort of starts to blend together.
Great. Kurt?
Yeah, I definitely want to know what happened to the Frosthearth Palace, because we haven't really established what it was, how it fell. And I want to know. So I definitely need to figure that out. I also I guess, I don't know. I want I don't like. I got a lot of the stuff that I was looking for this session, so I don't know. I wish that we could find out a little bit more about Perfected Starfall's like how you tie into everything, other than just sort of like leading the Meteor Grace clan. I think it'd be interesting to see, like, maybe we find out how we met the first time, because obviously I rejected you in the past. So maybe there's something we can do there. And I really need to know if I'm gonna follow through on the betrothal to save my sister from this oaf. So that's a question I need to answer for myself.
The betrothal to save your sister?
Yeah, if I marry Many Tempered Xiaohu, then they don't end up together, and she doesn't end up with this weirdo.
That is amazing. Okay. Great. Okay, so what I wrote for your wish is, what happened with Frost Hearth Palace, and also the backstory / inspiration for Perfected Starfall. And then I wrote in all caps, flashback scene, ? Which could be interesting. I don't know. We'll see. And then Chris, for yours, I wrote plot of Frost Hearth Palace revealed. And Joshua?
Gosh, I feel like I have more questions, even though we got all these answers, because I don't know like enough of the details to piece it all together, which is perfect. Like I feel like that's exactly where we should be if this was a TV show or a movie at this point. So I'm really digging that. I just want to get to the washing of hands ceremony, like to see how everything comes together so badly. I also would like to. I want to use Perfected Starfall's Master move, where I try to stop a fight. So I don't know what that would be like, but that's just kind of like a side wish. Because I feel like I've been involved in all these romantic situations and haven't really had a chance to show that she does have wisdom, and is not just super passionate about people all the time.
Right, that's fair. That's a good point. Okay. Sounds good. So I wrote for you, hold on. Washing of hands ceremony should happen, and then using Master's move to stop a fight. Those are your 2 wishes. And for my own wishes, this is a carryover from last time, which is more plotting from the Many Venom sect, and this will definitely. I'm really excited about this when Eduardo comes back because I have thoughts. Because like I believe a lot of Eduardo's character, Graven Hunter, their like entanglements and backstory stuff ties into what happened with the Frosthearth Palace, right? So yes, I have some ideas in mind, and depending on how the plot moves for the next session, they may become reality, and I'm so excited. Okay, so
Can I have another wish I just thought of? Since Xiaohu and Jade Serpent are now in the same tea house, I really want them to bump into each other. So.
Yes, that's great. I have an all caps scene between Xiaohu and Jade Serpent.
Wait, did you book her in there like literally as Jade Serpent, or did you like give some sort of false name?
No, she's as Jade Serpent because she's coming here to do the washing of hands, and we're helping put it on. So
let's see if Xiaohu can maintain this level of bravado, knowing that she's staying on the floor.
Yeah, and I mean, and I want to remind y'all again, hint, about getting good, or the proper move is called a new technique. But anyway, that's just a thing. That's a note to leave on. Right now, there's some powerful people.
That's why she's there, so that he can like spy on her.
I mean, he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to get better. But that's always an option.
Hey, maybe Perfected Starfall, maybe we can go have a training montage. Because I need to clear some conditions too. So I need someone who actually wants to comfort me.
Yeah, I'm still hurting. I've been trying to comfort you this whole time. It just hasn't been working out.
Maybe we can comfort each other. We'll figure that out.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so I'll also write that in. It's fine. I'm not going to write that in because I think that will probably just happen in game. So that's it for this session. Thank you all so much for again sticking with me, even though I'm going a little over time. And thank you for this this bundle of drama that happened.